Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Lions Den with Seth. What's popping? What's up, Big Herm? What's up, man?
Man, what's going? Man, the weather's getting good, ain't it?
No, not over here.
Hey,
look. It was flirting a little bit with the spring, and now it's like it back in the 40s. I don't know, man. Mother Nature going through that time. Bro, if that makes sense, you understand? I don't know what it is. Shout out to everybody that's watching right now. What's going on, Ryan? What's going on? So, what's up, man? How's it feel down there?
Man, it's good, but the only thing is, man, I saw somebody make a post the other day, today actually, and I was like, yeah, that's got to be it. Somebody said, man, this must be the pollen from China because this is different. You know what I'm saying? Kicking up allergies the way it is, man. I got my nose running like I'm 5 years old all the time. You know what I mean? This mess is crazy out here.
Man, hey, well, look, it is what it is, man. You know, it's the season, bro. Look, hey, check this out. You've been through this before. That's what it is. But first, I want to say what's going on to everybody. If this is your first time watching us, hello, how you doing? If you hitting this and you're in the building, hit the share button, all right, to let individuals know you in the place to be. And also, if this is your first time, this is on StreamYard, okay? Because you might want to have comments and everything, but go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so we can see who it is that got something, you know, nice and jazzy to say. Right on.
Yo, how you hold on though. How you doing? You straight?
Man, slow motion, bro. Slow motion working. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I like it. Hey, I like it, but I ain't used to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, it's good, man. You know, huge impact in the community and for veterans out there that want to be entrepreneurs. So, no, it's super dope. It's super
no doubt, man. Give a shout out to everybody that's watching right now, man. Yeah. But for this show, man, we have somebody coming on that I think this show is going to be, like my man Seth loves to say, it's going to be super dope. You know what I mean? Did I say it like you? It's gonna be super dope.
No, hey, that's the words, but I ain't like me, right? That ain't it. You know, yo, extra super up in it.
Hey man, this woman is definitely somebody that I see as motivational, a leader within the community, somebody that is truly making a difference. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about um, changing people's lives, man. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely one of those folks. She's also an exceptional. She has an exceptional eye for talent. You know what I
Hold
mean?
on, wait,
She
wait,
has an hold on,
wait.
man. Just let me get this out, man. I got to give her all her flowers. Ain't that what they say? Give
At
her
least give,
all.
hey, look, hey, at least give us some living.
Let me give her all her flowers, please.
At
You know,
least give
on
us
this
some
Sunday.
living ones. Go ahead, go ahead.
But
Let's see
yeah,
what this
she has an exceptional eye for talent, man. It was on a Saturday.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, at this place called the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I noticed her crowd, you know what I'm saying, sitting down for karaoke.
Uh-huh.
And I get up there and do my normal razzle dazzle. You know what I mean? My normal, you know.
See, no, I'm sorry, bro. I ain't gonna let you go through all that.
Hold on now. You know what I'm saying?
Come
After
on.
I left the mic smoking, she said, "Hey, you must be part of the choir."
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, why you gonna put this on this lady?
She
Listen,
has an eye for talent that is unmatched.
I liked her until then. Everything was here, right? Now you brought the bar down. But go ahead, bro.
But I want to give a big shout out, you know what I'm saying? And everybody give a welcome to Miss Mary Franklin.
There she go. How you doing, ma'am? Hey, listen, your eyelashes is popping, so it good. It good. Oh, you got
you muted
stuff. You good? There we go. Tanya, how you doing? What's going on, Nicole? How you doing? Miss Mary, you there?
Oh, snap.
See what happened.
What we got going on?
What's going on? You got to hit the
you got the mute button? Hold on now.
Now, how did that happen? We was just good.
Somebody must have called her.
That's what happened.
Why don't you log back out? Hold on.
She can't hear nothing. Go ahead.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while they go through all of that, y'all let us know where y'all at. Okay, where you watching? Okay, I see individuals up in here. I take it. Okay, so we got Clarksville in the building. Where y'all calling in from and watching in from? Oh, and here's something else too. If y'all haven't done so already, make sure you hit the share button and you subscribe. And this is everywhere right now. Okay, live. Let me see. Yep. Hey, look, it might be some gremlins. It might be. What's going on, ma'am? How you doing? But yeah, let's make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, excuse me, and so we can share this good information. Okay, all right, there you go. I see you, Woody. Down there. Hopefully the weather's good. Hopefully everything's good down there. Yeah, we got some Clarksvillians up in there.
Man, Clarksville deep, man. You know how it is.
Look, we got
Southern California. It never rains there.
See, look at that. What? Hey, we up in here. You understand? We up in the show me state. You know what I'm saying?
Missouri.
Right across the river. What's up, James? All right. So what's going on with her stuff?
Okay, so she's backing back out and coming back on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I knew it. It ain't her. She got it on do not disturb mode because I was going straight to voicemail. So we'll see what's going on.
You know what the problem is? As soon as you start talking about
my God.
There we go.
Singing. There you go.
Did you hear any of my introduction?
Hopefully you did.
I heard about you being discovered at the Pinnacle.
You know what I'm saying? You got an exceptional ear for talent. I just got
Yes, I do.
Your flowers right here. This is my biggest hater. He's my biggest hater.
No. I'm your biggest realist. Okay. I saw when the mics cut off. You understand? Yes. But anyway, how you doing, ma'am? Welcome to the den. How's everything?
Hey, what's up, you guys? Thank you guys for having me, Seth and Big Herm. I didn't know that was another name you go by. All right.
Hey, look, we got Big Herm, and then hey, we got little Scamp, right? Or Scrap. You know what I'm saying? We got names going on. You know, let's get
Somebody
it in.
already dropped it in here.
They did.
That's my nickname, Scamp.
Okay. Well, go ahead, kick it off, Herm.
Well, Miss Mary, how about you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I am from Clarksville, Tennessee. I'm happily married to the hottest man on the universe, Minister Mike Franklin. Yay! He's at work right now. Shout out to you, Boo Bay. We have 5 children. Damani, who's in the Air Force, stationed in Italy. Ever Walker, Alana. We have so many kids. Jada, Mercy's the youngest, my 13-year-old. Shout out to y'all today. But yeah, I'm from Clarksville. I'm the assistant pastor at New Jerusalem Fivefold Ministries, the most exciting church in Clarksville, under the leadership of my mother, Pastor Catherine Minor Walker. And I have been the youth pastor there for 10 years and just recently took the assistant role as the assistant pastor there at New Jerusalem Church. I also am a CEO and business owner of the top commercial cleaning company here in the South East, and it's called M&M's Guaranteed Cleaning Services. I also serve here in the community in many different capacities. I am currently just got elected to be the commissioner here for the Clarksville Housing Authority. I'm on the board for that. Nice. And I work a lot with the youth. You'll see me working with the youth at New Jerusalem Church on Wednesdays, on Sundays in the youth department. I also am the PR and public relations for New Jerusalem Church as well.
All right.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, so we ain't talking about your background. A little bit of Jamaican in there. I mean, what do you help deliver babies?
Definitely.
Good right. Grief. Well, no, that's super dope. That's super dope. So yeah, we got it up in here, up in the building.
Absolutely. But hey,
go ahead.
So we're gonna kick this off. This show was about something you talked about when you about a couple Sundays ago, you had a sermon finishing an assignment.
Right.
And when you talked about that, I was thinking about, saying how your mother and yourself continued on the assignment, after your father's unfortunate passing. Right. In the beginning. So I want to go back to that time frame if we can, back to when the unfortunate passing of your father. How was this decision made for your mom to take the reins? And being a woman, in the church world, how was that received?
Well, I guess let me start at the beginning there. My father and my mother both launched New Jerusalem in the early 2000s. And my father took the reins for years. And my mother was the assistant pastor. She worked side by side with my father at New Jerusalem Church. And then around 2010, I think it was 2010, my father passed right after his pastor's anniversary, just a few days before we celebrated 8 years at New Jerusalem Church. And he fell dead, actually. Congestive heart failure is what he had. And he fell dead. We didn't expect it. And the church had to go on. So what happened was typically the assistant pastor will take the reins as the pastor when the man is missing. So let me clarify that. And so, but my mother, she'd been leading all the while, right alongside my father. It was received well within the church. We did have a couple of people that, didn't believe in women leadership, women pastors. We did have a couple of people to go on about their business. And how was it received in the community? She was ostracized in the Clarksville community. Clarksville is really behind on a lot of things, and women in leadership is one of them. Something that we're behind on here in the city, but has gotten better within the last couple of years, especially when you see New Jerusalem. I mean, we're thriving right now in the city, and everybody wants to know what we're doing, how we're doing it, especially after the pandemic. A lot of people just, quit coming to church, period. They're not in the house, they're online, but on any Sunday morning in NJ5, there's no telling who you might see. And we do have people coming to the building.
All right. Well, that's dope. That's super dope. But look here, I got a question for you.
Yes.
So as a female assistant, or just an assistant pastor in a prominent church, so how do you feel that your gender has shaped the journey of serving in the community differently compared to your male counterparts?
Well, I don't think it's about gender at all. And the Bible doesn't speak of gender. God doesn't see, Jews, Gentiles. uh I think it what was the scripture, female or male. But we do definitely help shape the community as women, period. I mean, we're resilient. We wear many hats. We're very resourceful, nurturing. We're teaching constantly. So I think we do go hand in hand with our male counterparts, definitely.
So
Okay.
speaking about that, because I ain't gonna lie to you, before I came to your church, before I met my lovely wife, you know what I'm saying, who changed me.
Praise God for her.
Man, hey, I was a bit of a butthole when it came to this, right?
Yeah.
So for me, and I don't know, do you know baby doll Kennedy?
I heard of
She
her.
went to
Heard of her.
Northwest. So
Yes.
with her, I used to get into it with her all the time because she's a pastor.
I've met her once. I believe I met her once through Treva Gordon. So yeah, I think that's her. Yes.
Yeah. Treva, who was on our show last week, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah. So I used to get into it with Doll all the time about her being a woman pastor, right? And when you go to 1 Timothy, and it says women should have no authority over men. They should not teach. It should be quiet, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, and I used that was my sword that I used to chop down any conversation about that, right?
Yes.
Have y'all ever faced that? You know what I'm saying? That conversation, and if y'all did, how did y'all handle people like me that brought that to y'all when they talked about women being pastors?
Well, it's just a simple conversation. I mean, as far as women are concerned, period. I always start with Jesus's mother, the Mother Mary. She was the first one to carry the word, and then the word became flesh. And then there was Mary Magdalene in the Bible. She was the first to, preach the word and deliver the word after Jesus had risen from the dead. I mean, there's several different things in the Bible. It just depends on, how you look at it, your perception of it. I mean, but women are definitely hidden in society, and also, in churches they're hidden because people don't talk about, like we talked about just recently, the 12 disciples. We've been talking about that, and that's what we talked about on Easter when we talked about finishing the assignment. And people don't know that there was a woman disciple. Because people just refuse to talk about women in the Bible, period. And there was a woman judge. Now we call people, presidents of the United States, but back then they had judges, and God appointed the judges, and there was a woman judge named Deborah in the Bible. So it's all through the Bible, even the virtuous woman that is talked about in Proverbs 31. I mean, it talks about, you mentioned, being silent, and some of the scriptures, that's like the pretty much the only one that really comes up. Women are to be silent, and women are to stay in the background. But the Proverbs 31 woman was a superwoman. She was a boss. She had a business. Amen. She took care of her family. She was a wife, and she was submissive to her husband as well. But she knew how to write a check. Because people think, in past times that, people, that women are supposed to be, in the house, not speaking, only speak when spoke to, pretty much treated like cattle. But no, the Bible clearly tells you about women and who they are and who they were, but nobody just talks about it. We're hidden, definitely. Yeah, don't nobody talk about that judge, Deborah, a woman being a judge over Israel that God appointed.
And look, and that's the first time I heard about it. You know what I'm saying? First
Yeah.
time I heard about it. Well, no, that makes sense. Well, look, here's something that I think is a real good question. So, do you see the growth trend? Okay, or is it still resistance to female pastors?
And
Or
Clarksville
even
is weak. In Clarksville is weak.
yeah.
Okay.
Why do you think that is?
Just being a woman assistant pastor and looking at my mother.
Mhm.
I mean, the first thing they want her to do besides speak a word, because let me tell you something, my mama is a pastor and she can preach. She just doesn't, go around singing and doing all this and doing all that. And they want to, and I will say it's hard even being an attractive woman pastor, because people have thrown themselves at my mother, even trying to, be as far as, wanting to marry her to take over the church. you know. So, but I
Wow.
mean, when you look up north, up south, I mean, and even in other cities and other states in the southern states, I mean, women are trending. Women are bosses, you know. They're pastors, and it's accepted. But just, you know, here in Clarksville, it's been kind of tough. But now that they see, you know, we broke down several walls, people that you would never think, you know, that would ask us to speak, you know, in you know, at their church, or you know, even give a word period in their church. They're all of a sudden, you know, past couple of years, they're asking.
No.
Right.
So going back, I'm gonna go back to something to you personally, you know what I'm saying, being a preacher's kid, right?
Yeah.
Were you always, you know what I'm saying, the quote unquote churchy kid, or did you have to kind of grow into this? Now I'm gonna go into some more follow-up questions after that, you know what I'm saying? But I just
Yeah.
want to know a little bit about you, Mary, you know what I mean? Like, was it always, you know what I'm saying, kumbaya, my lord, or was you about it? You know what I mean? What was going on with you?
Let me keep it 100 with you. Ooh, I just felt the spirit. No, now, let me just tell you my personal testimony. I have been saved since the age of 7 years old. And it wasn't just I'm following all the children to get baptized because everybody else is getting baptized, and my mama saved, my daddy saved, all that. I felt the Holy Spirit when I was 7, 8, 9 on up. I always felt the Spirit in my life. Now, did I enjoy church? I love church. I always enjoyed church, especially the church that, you know, that I attended growing up. I love church. I liked seeing, you know, people shout and act a fool. And I love to hear the choir sing back in the day. I mean, I just thought it was awesome. And I was a kid that actually loved church. And it wasn't like, you know, some preachers' kids, you know, church can be, you know, get to be too much. I'm tired of going to church and I hate it. That wasn't me. Now, when I got older and of age, I know DJ Butterfly is on here watching. Now, when I got
we all know
age,
DJ Butterfly growing up as kids, boy.
Then let me tell you something. When I got older and of age, and it was time for me to go hang out. I mean, I was single, you know, or whatnot, and you know, going to college and stuff. Yes, I hung out. Yes, I mean, I went to the club 6, 7 days a week. But guess what? One of the things that stuck with me is my parents trained me. They did a great job. My parents trained me no matter what I did on Saturday night. Guess what? Butterfly saying party time. No matter what I did on Saturday night, on Sunday morning, Mary Walker back then was at church. I was in Sunday school. Was teaching Sunday school. Even sometimes as a kid, I taught the adult Sunday school classes. And man, I just, no matter what I did, I always, you know, holy roller. I mean, Jesus freak. Yeah, I talked about Jesus all the time. People got sick of me. I even talked about Jesus. I was at the Dynamic 6. I was at Tiffany's. I was at Pure Lights. You know, even I just, you know, I didn't drink. I've never drank in my life. I've never smoked, did any type of drug. And I could have a million times because of the career that I was in. I was a model for quite a few years, and it was always around me. You know, the famous people were always around me. I had choices that if I could have took right now, I wouldn't be Mary Franklin, but made some decisions. But I knew that all that time there was a calling on my life. I was always the Jesus freak. I was the one after the club. Y'all want to go to church with me tomorrow? You want to spend the night at my house? And guess what? People would spend the night at my house, crazy, and go to church with me the next day. So I was always bringing it. I mean, Jesus went everywhere. That's what people don't want you to know. He didn't like religion. He didn't like religious people like that. He loved them, but just didn't like the way that they were doing things. Jesus was a radical.
Now, if you don't mind, Seth, I got to follow up.
Go ahead, follow up.
So you talked about being Mary Walker. Now we're going to talk about when you became Mary Franklin. Now, I remember when Mike came up, he did a word when he talked about your father's coat, right? I thought that was very deep, you know what I mean? And how he has to be him in church folk and how he came up.
Yeah.
Now I know a little bit about how he came up because I know who he was associated with.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? For you, for you being a preacher's kid and love God, you know what I'm saying, and finding this man Mike, how did that come about? How was that received? And can you take us on that journey a little bit?
Whew.
I don't want to put all this business out there. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't care. No, it's part of our testimony.
Please do. Please talk on it.
I've been knowing Mike all my life. I knew him in high school. You know, I was a freshman. He was a senior. I never liked him. I didn't like light-skinned guys. Only Michael Jackson and El DeBarge. But I knew Mike in high school. I didn't care for him. I didn't like him, you know. Then I got desperate. No, I'm joking. He pursued me for quite some time. He actually pursued me for like a couple of years. And just one day out of the blue, I just decided, you know, he kept calling, begging. No, he's going to look at this later, so let me not say that. But he had approached me, and I was just thinking like, no, I can't bring him home to my parents, you know. And he was like, you know, hey, let's just go out on one date. And I promise you, you know, we'll enjoy each other's company. I didn't know much about him, you know, or whatnot. We went out one time, and I'll just say it like this. I mean, that was like the best day of my life. We had so much fun, and Mike really treated me like a queen. Now, as we got more into our friendship, because we weren't we didn't have the titles and stuff yet for a while. As we got more into our friendship, you know, he was sharing some things. You know, he didn't go to church. He went to church like once in his life. He didn't have a relationship with God. And, you know, if y'all don't know Mike, I mean, he was like a man of the streets. I'll leave it at that. You know, he was like a man of the streets, 100%. And so I said, you know, he's told me, he was like, well, you know, I want to, you know, take it to another level. I want you to be, you know, my girlfriend, and I can see myself marrying you. That kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, marry me, you know, from girlfriend to marriage. And he was like, yeah. And so, you know, I said, well, the first thing that you have to do is you got to go to church with me. So, but I've always talked to him, you know, at that point I was talking to him about, you know, Noah's Ark and Moses. And I know he was looking at me like, girl, don't nobody care about the Bible. But so he went to church. He went to church the first Sunday, probably thought, I mean, you know, he smelled like alcohol, you know, he was coming. So I think he was probably coming in from the club. But the thing is that he came. I never said nothing about, oh my gosh, you know, were you at the club last night? You smell like you've been drinking. You know, I never said anything about, you know, what was going on with him. I was just so glad that he came. And I wasn't the type of person, I'm not the type of woman either that will actually beg, you know, somebody to come to church with me. And I was just like, let me just see if he just keeps it up or what his thoughts were. You know, Mike got in the church and was angry because he felt like my dad was talking exactly to him.
Well, that is a feeling though. Like when you were sitting in church and you think people are talking to you.
He was more upset. Like he was irate in that church, you know. And so he kept coming back. He just would show up. I'd be in church and I'd look at the door and was like, let me see. And I would turn around and he came. He never missed a Sunday. He never stopped coming because it was just so interesting him. And that's what we believe God for now, is that we invite people to the church, but God has to clean them up. We can't tell them. I mean, you know, they're going to feel it when they come to church. You know, it's going to hurt sometimes like a sword, you know. They feel convicted is the word I'm looking for. He became convicted and got saved probably within about 3 months of attending New Jerusalem Church, and the rest is history. We got engaged within like 6 months. We got engaged pretty fast.
Did you ever see
God?
So my question is, do you think, and that's super dope. My question is, do you feel as though he was doing it for the relationship versus his soul? Think about it.
I definitely feel like he was doing it for me, honey.
Right. Because if you think about it, initially it was like, hey, that's the condition. Yeah. So do you think that it was built off of that and then he got used to doing it? How do you think that transcended to where it is now?
Well, I just think that when he started out, it was for me. I'm gonna go to church to see, what she's about, honey. Because my husband was, he was a ladies' man. He didn't have, he could, talk to anybody probably, and he just kept coming. And I think that, the things that were the things at the time that my father was preaching about. I know he was talking about, Jesus giving his life, and I think I want to say it was Abraham. He was talking about his son that God had told him to sacrifice, and the things that he was talking about really hit home. So he eventually, besides first starting off, thinking, let's see where this relationship goes, I'll clean it up some. But it ended up really convicting him, and he got saved. And behind going to church, he was just thirsty after the knowledge. And my husband, I mean, just to even talk to him to this day, I'm still shocked and surprised, because a lot of the times I may not know a word or know a verse. He knows exactly where it is, exactly where to find it. He can tell you everything about it.
That's dope.
Yeah, I didn't know him back then. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to know him now.
Oh, yeah.
And I would never have known that, you know what I'm saying, this is recent, you know what I'm saying, watching him do what he does, you know what I mean? So when in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, as y'all was talking about getting married, you know what I'm saying, coming from the background that he was coming from, and how was that received in the beginning? Did your folks was like, hey, that's all good still?
My parents are good people. They never, anytime I did anything in my life that they didn't approve of, they never judged me, but they would always tell me, right from wrong. Hey, Scamp, we taught you this. This is wrong. Even when, I lived with Mike before we got married.
Oh,
And
stacking and
that was a
shacking.
big thing. That was a big thing with my dad. He wrote me a letter,
Mhm.
And told me, he was like, what you're doing is not right. And, I didn't write the Bible, but this is what, what it is. And what it is, because we've trained you so well, but we were praying for you. It was never like, you're going to hell, not that type of thing. It was always, I mean, my dad and my mom could say something and it would make me feel like, let's see, like our age group would make you feel like they really cussed you out without using a cuss word. But it would just make you feel so bad, like, oh my gosh, I gotta get myself together. I can't continue to do this. So, but that's just, they weren't judgmental. They knew about Mike's background already. And my dad, it is so sad because my dad just really wrapped his arms around my husband and took him in as a son, because he just had Mike just always, and I never really thought it, but when he was around me, he had just such a sweet spirit. He just had such a sweet spirit. And my dad took him in and, and taught him, just different things that he didn't know as a man, because his father was missing.
Okay. So that's beautiful. That is beautiful. That makes a lot of sense. Look, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to say thank you all for watching, right? And give it up for Miss Franklin up in the building. You know what I'm saying? She's getting it. She's hitting it. You know what I'm saying? That's super, super dope. And also, too, for those of you that that this is your first time watching this, we want to make sure we get your feedback. So if you look in the chat, you will see an opportunity for you to click this link, right? That goes straight to the review, straight to everything, that you can put all of your information in there to say, hey, this show suck, or this is the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? We glad that we found the Lion's Den on today. So make sure you do that, right? Make sure you do that. And we do appreciate it. So look, here's another question. I really think that's great. That's super, super, super dope. And to find that relationship, he found that relationship through you, right? Now, so how was the relationship between him and your parents outside of you? Did you see that difference, or was it contingent on, what you said before him? Right? Could they see him for the man that he was? And how did that work?
My parents, like I said, they were pastors. So my parents always have a way of saying, like my mom said today, while she was preaching, sometimes people look at her crazy with the decisions that she may make, but it's definitely God driven. And she saw Mike's expected in. My father saw Mike's expected in, like what he could be.
Mm.
So, I mean, and that was just, even me, myself, I've had situations, issues that have went on, not like I was perfect or anything, like I was a clubaholic, I really was. But they always saw my expected end and knew that, I knew my father the day that he died. He called me and started prophesying to me, which was, totally scared me to death. But he called me 2 hours before he passed and told me pretty much where I am right now in my life, what I was going to do.
Man.
So, they're with God. When you have people that are with God and surrounding themselves with the people of God, there's no telling what could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to talk about finishing the assignment, right? I thought that was a great word that you preached. I got in trouble during that one, Seth.
How?
Man, I'm going to tell you what happened, man. And this is before, because she did shout out the whole church, but this was before that happened.
Okay.
My wife was saying something to me, right? You know what I'm saying? And I turned around and said something back to her, and Mary's up on a podium talking about, Herman, you need to finish the assignment. I was like, that's a little, hey, I'm going to just call you out to be quiet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're not,
I had a situation like that before.
I got in trouble in church because, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen. Hey, look, dating my wife real quick, full transparency. Dating my wife before we got married, and her mother, right, was a pastor. She passed away. However, check this out. When she had her sermon and everything going on, and it's good. And then she started talking about stacking and shacking. I'm like, okay, look, all right, I'm done. Hey, you know how you do one of these numbers? Let it go. All right. It was about that time, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I know how I feel. This ain't a good feeling. But go ahead, carry on.
Hold on. Hey, baby, because she just watched, she said, your wife was talking. Yeah, babe. You was talking, you got me in trouble in church.
Wow.
So, anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got me in trouble in church. It's all good. But finishing the assignment, right? You guys decide we're gonna go back to women in leadership in church. You guys decided y'all was going to go ahead and take on the reins full time. Now I learned that your mom was the assistant pastor,
right,
and whatnot. So y'all was going to take it on full throttle. Now, I remember first me and my wife, a lot like Mike. I wasn't going to be the church guy.
Right.
I wasn't going to be church. My wife is very much so. Like when I joined the church, I talked about it was through my wife that it happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't going to be the church guy. Mm-hmm. She always thought about, man, you know what I'm saying, how is it going to be marrying this guy, because religion and church was very big to her, right?
Okay.
Went to different churches in Clarksville and stuff like that, and then we stopped at y'all's. We was like, let's go to this one. And I love the way that your mom, you know what I'm saying, always started with the word and always brought it back to what was in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? That was important to me. How is it, you know what I'm saying? How now that you guys have it full throttle, and then you are the most exciting church there is, you know what I mean? Some of the things that we do in there are like, man, you know what I'm saying?
You won't see it nowhere else. No.
But how is it that you guys keep continuing to grow? You know what I'm saying? Despite being not despite, but being women in leadership in a place like Clarksville, where you say we're backwards and behind. How is it that we continue to grow, and how is that being received today? Are people being like, okay, wait a minute, let's look at what they're doing now, or are they still and they're stuck in their old ways?
Well, definitely, I think that NJ5, our church, the reason why we were created was so that we can come out of traditionalism. Okay. So I think we don't have, a lot of the traditional aspects. It's about free worship. I do know that. So that's one of the main things, that NJ5 offers. It's free worship. And we are targeting the people that some churches, a majority of churches, they don't want at their church. They don't want homosexuals at their church. They don't want drug dealers at their church. They don't want prostitutes at their church. We want them all so God can clean them up 1,000%. So, I think we do offer an exciting atmosphere and can show that, hey, church is fun. I mean, you've seen our topics online, there's no telling what you may see. I know Elder David Kirby, he preached a sermon, that caught, everybody's attention. I'm in love with the stripper. You'll see those sermons. I just did one. What was that? Murder was the case that they gave me. You won't see this, but definitely we have a charge at New Jerusalem. If you don't have young people at your church is dead. That's what you're seeing in these churches, that you see 1 or 2 young people. Your church, if you have a couple, it's dying. If you have none, it's dead. But we are making sure that, hey, this generation, they want the generation to be silent. They're trying to normalize everything, but we are the ones that's fighting. We're rising up an army. It's not just about New Jerusalem. It's about the Spirit of God in the community, period.
Okay. Well, look, I like that. So I want to ask you this. In the same line, excuse me, in the same line as that, can you really discuss the importance of creating space for diversity and inclusion, all right, within the church, especially in leadership positions?
Okay, kind of be more specific with the question.
Okay, so for example, just like you said, the doors are open, right? The doors are open for anyone, right?
That's right.
Anyone that wants to get in. Now, how is the church creating that space for those different individuals and creating that, I guess, the space of growth and development in order to lead in their specific lanes or their desires or their ministries?
Okay, say it one more time. I'm just gathering in my mind what you're trying to make my answer it another way.
No. I mean, so here it is. So you guys have this church, right? It's open to the community, right? To a diverse community. How do you all how do you cultivate the relationship for individuals that come from all different walks of life to actually serve in leadership positions?
Gotcha. Well, we do have like connect groups, for instance. And we do have different capacities in the church where you can actually become a leader, and there's classes to do so. There's things that you'll have the opportunity to do in order to lead. But with everything takes time. So we definitely, and we have, not just church on Sunday, we have Bible study so they can learn more about the church. Even when people first come in and they just like, I just want to change. I know what I'm doing is wrong and, or whatnot. We have, new members leadership classes as well, new members classes where, it goes and tells about, what we believe, how we believe it. And it's not even about believing. A lot of time is what we know. I mean, we didn't write the Bible, but it's right there in black and white and red. But we do have those classes, those connect groups that they can definitely join to even be more a part of. And eventually, within time and, depending on the season where they can actually become leaders at NJ5.
Nice. That's nice.
So speaking about that, right, talk about leadership in the church. I know with ours, what I'm saying, I see a whole bunch of people up there, and people from different backgrounds being leaders. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, how I put this, our church is pretty diverse when it comes to that, right?
Yes.
So when y'all go out to different conferences and stuff like that, when y'all are meeting with different religious leaders throughout the region or maybe even the world, how was that received right now?
See?
Well, you said right now, so that means present. So it's actually
or how have you seen it change? How have you seen it evolve from when y'all first started till now?
When we first started, oh my God, let me tell you something. Like I said before, the word that I used was ostracized. People were not accepting. I mean, it just starts like, we already have a woman pastor. Now you have known drug dealers. You have known. I use Butterfly as examples. Like, you have a DJ at your church, and so I mean, just people that are known for different things. And I was like, it's just like Jesus when he was talking to the religious leaders and telling them, they were trying to hang around the same people, the people that were just like them, and people who believe like they believe. That's unhealthy, first of all. Amen. You always want to, number one, I always teach the youth that you want people to surround you that know more than you, that are different from you, with different ideas, that are more diverse. But Jesus came for, he didn't come for the saved people. Let me just clarify that. The people that already so-called had it together. He came for the sick, the lame, the poor, the liar, the murderer, the adulterer. He came for those people. And so that's our job. We're coming after those people to help lead them to Christ through Jesus Christ.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. Well, here, let me ask you this. This is a great question from Lily Wilson. Shout out to her. Hold on one second. All right. So she says, what is your advice for drawing in people who have experienced church hurt? So many have started and left due to bad church experience, hypocrisy, abuse, and abuse of power, etc. All right.
Your mom talked about that today, actually, didn't she?
So, yeah, she gave an example about that today, about church hurt, how you go to the club and somebody might step on your foot, but you're gonna be back next week.
Yeah.
You're going to Walmart with somebody that cussed you out over getting the last Lysol bottle, but you'll be back at Walmart next week. It's same thing with church. We have to be slow to take offense, is what the covenant says, and always quick to reconcile. Slow to take offense, but always ready for reconciliation is what it states. Just making sure that, okay, so something maybe happened, because I've had church hurt. I've had personal church hurt where I've seen things go on in the church that you'd be like, oh my gosh, I just can't, I can't believe that happened. But you know what? Never stop seeking after God. Never stop. One monkey don't stop no show. There is a church with your name on it that you're supposed to be in. It's good for you to fellowship with other brethren, with other sisters. You're supposed to fellowship. We need people to lean on, especially in this day and time, people to check on us, people to pray for us when we're going through what godly advice. People, that's what's missing in the society today, is people aren't seeking godly counsel anymore. And I see why, because people are so foolish within the church house.
Yeah. And I think it's unrealistic to think that every Sunday you go inside the doors, you're going to agree with everything that happens.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be a word or a sermon that it just doesn't resonate with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I hear it, but this one's not for me. But the next Sunday after that, you know what I'm saying, I feel those. You know what I mean? I think that because we still all people at the end of the day.
That's what I was exactly going to say, right?
Yeah,
because the thing is, the church is like what the church is supposed to be meant for, but when you have people in there that's out of line,
it's disappointing. Yeah,
exactly. It is.
It's disappointing. But every church is not the same, and there is a church, that is meant for you, a Bible-based church that is meant for you to be in. Like people like, Big Herm that's on here. I have a lot of sunshine in here. I feel like the sun is going down. I'm sorry. But, like you said, when you came in, you felt like you belonged. You felt like it was okay to come in. Like some people will come to our church just for the simple fact, oh my gosh, I can wear a pair of jeans in here. Or
there's a plus now,
whatnot. So it'll make you feel. But let me tell you something: when you come out of there, you're gonna be made. You ain't even gonna be set free. You're gonna be made free at NJ5.
Yeah, had me up on the stage with stomach cramps one day. You know what I mean?
He has some stomach cramps now.
Okay, we're gonna leave that right there.
Talk about what I was singing, man. I had caught a stomach cramp up on the stage. You know what I mean? Almost took me out.
Oh, so look, answer this question though for Pink.
What's out of what do you consider out of line in church? Well, that's
Yeah,
for
be
you,
more
Seth.
specific. Out
Yeah,
of
okay,
line.
cool. Oh, too
Yeah.
easy. So this is
That's a
what I
lot.
feel as though. Yeah, no, it is, but
That's
I'm
a
gonna keep it
whole big
real smooth.
conversation.
No, I'm gonna keep it real smooth, right? Because it's not about the building, it's the people, right? And then so you can either go in with the expectations to be the best version of yourself, but then also learn how to be a better version of yourself. But it's hard when you don't have that safe space to be, right? To
Yeah.
grow. And then individuals give you the sense of the meaning and the conviction, the conviction isn't encouraging, it's more discouraging. And then so therefore you are shunned away versus, hey, this is not going to be an easy road, but I know that you can make it. You get what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
that's a people thing, it's not a church thing. So hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, good deal. Yeah.
So
Because you got to
Trey,
realize that the church is more than the four walls.
Absolutely.
It's more, it's the church is you. When
Absolutely.
God is speaking to the churches in Revelations, he's being specific. He's talking about your personal church.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, the church, your whole church ain't gonna go to heaven. Everything is based upon an individual approach.
Facts. Yep.
so speaking on leadership, you know what I'm saying? We got a little bit more time, right? It seemed like, after hearing your introduction, you have been succeeding at all levels, you know what I'm saying, as your personal business, as commissioner for the housing authority and stuff like that. Uh let's talk a little bit about your personal journey as far as your growth. Um, where do you find the time, you know what I'm saying, and how did these things fall into place for you?
Well, finding the time, that's kind of, that's laughable. Because I am married and I have 5 children.
5.
Oh yeah. But I'm definitely a go-getter. But I do have balance as well. You definitely have to have balance and doors. Let me tell you something. A lot of the things that I have been able to do in my life, a lot of the things that I have succeeded in is things that I was not even qualified for or qualified to do. It was nothing but God. When you take care of God's house, let me tell you something. God will take that. People wonder why I stay, I stay at the church. I'm with the kids, I am with the choir. I'm in the church, doing some marketing, coming up with different ideas. Because guess what? When you work for God, God will definitely work for you. When you take care of God's house, he always takes care of your house.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense. And so I want to touch on that too in this question here. So, as a wife and as a mother, how do you balance your responsibilities at home and service to the church community?
Oh, definitely charity begins at home. Let me say that.
Mhm.
Because I'm definitely not going to, if my child has experienced something, I'm not going to go out, and stretch out. Well, what I'm saying is you got to take care of home first.
Mhm.
Your family definitely comes first. That's your first ministry. That's everybody's first ministry. Everybody to me is a minister in some type of way. You're ministering. Seth, Big Herm, you guys are ministering, whether you know it or not. You're ministering. But definitely how, I have balance is I handle home first.
Mhm.
Definitely handle home first, and then everything else falls into place. It's a domino effect, definitely.
Yeah. Oh.
So with that, right? There's another young lady that's tracking out, right? How would you, being a woman that's accomplished as you are, but it didn't come easy, as you had your own trials and tribulations and stuff like that, experience loss and all that. Uh, how do you advise that person? How do you advise the young Mary Scamp Walker? You know what I'm saying? What would you tell that person, you know what I'm saying, coming up?
To just constantly keep God first, know that God is there with a legion of angels wrapped around you, and knowing that even though your father is gone, he's still with you every day. You are him. I feel sometimes like I was like, Simba in the Lion King running, running, running. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. I did not want to be a preacher. I had 1,000 things. I'd rather have been, an entertainer, a rapper. I would rather have been.
Yeah, I saw that.
all
Now
those
what's up with this
things.
aspiring
Never.
Christian rapper? Yeah,
Preacher.
Rapper.
yeah, we ain't touch on that. Like, so that was part of her bio.
Never.
She's,
Really?
yeah, yeah.
You was on the track with Lady R?
Yeah.
I am not speaking to you, Big Heart. Next question. I love you, Lady R.
Yeah, that's my girl, man.
Yeah, but you know, God had other plans. You know, just stay on the path is what I would tell the younger scamp. Stay on the path and you know, still keeping God first, and all those things, you know, are going to be added. You know, God added the blessings. He definitely didn't stop.
Wow. Wow. Whoo, man. So this has been a lot. So look, first of all, shout out to everybody that's watching right now. You understand? Shout out. You know what I'm saying? Look, she has some individuals up in, and hold on. Is this hey, my little cousin preacher can rap. Can you? All right, here. Go ahead. 16.
Yeah, I'm trying to hear something.
Right now.
Please stop.
Hey, look, because if you got it, you got it.
They got them bars now, you know what I mean?
Exhausted.
Hey, come on, you got
Did
some?
you say something? I'm sorry. What did you say?
Okay. Now we gotta check the mic. Okay.
You want me to let's see. Of course I always have something up my sleeve.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
No idea.
On a spizzot.
So yeah, I even had a little rap CD and stuff when I was
I mean, I have go ahead. I mean, that was a request, ma'am.
Okay, here we go. Well, it's the Holy Mother Mary of Christ. My life was shook, took and introduced the Son through the prophecy of a book. Daughter of a carpenter from a poor Jewish race. My heritage is warm embraced by the love on his face. We don't know the day, we don't know the hour when Christ will return. The unsaved will burn, and the waves of the world will dry up in the sand. Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. So get it together. It's either now or never. Jesus for my life. I'm very simple and plain. So wed yourself to the kingdom because my Savior raised. Jesus for my life. I'm a Christian lady by day and demon killer by night.
Okay. Demon killer.
Hold on,
Hey, man. Hey.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't know if anybody heard that. So I heard at first the whole, Southern Belle type of, Clarksville twang before you said this. Now all of a sudden you from Brooklyn. Right, kicking the door like Jesus. Yo, taking Jesus shots. What's going on?
Hey. I didn't expect that. At all. You know what I mean?
Wait, hold on.
Like one of those things you try to call somebody out, they be like, yo, hold on for a second.
I want y'all to look at this face, okay? Y'all look at this face. Y'all did not know. I know I didn't.
Hold on now. Everybody watching is her family. She related to all of Clarksville.
My goodness. Shout out to you. Okay, cool. So you said you had a CD and everything?
Yeah. 19, 20 years old. Oh, yeah.
You was in
done it all. I was in there.
Okay. That's dope. That's super dope. All right. Well, look, check this out. We want to give you your last words in the few, but here I want you. Go ahead, Herm. You got this, man. Go ahead.
So first and foremost, Mary, you know what I'm saying? I want to say thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for promoting the show the way that you did. You know what I'm saying? It's very much appreciated. And I also want to thank you for what you do for the community, what you've done for me personally. You know what I'm saying? Me and my family, what your family has done for us. I really can't express in words, you know what I'm saying, how y'all really changed me around personally and led me to be more open-minded to what the church has to offer. Because my mind was shut there. You know what I'm saying? So through the leadership of my wife, that's like, church is important to me. I was like, well, I can't have you in a new city going to church by yourself. You know what I mean? Let me just go. And then hearing your mom up there do what she do. Hearing you up there do what you do. Hearing Mike up there do what he does. Hearing Dave, you know what I'm saying, David up there do what he does. Hear our amazing choir do what they do. You know what I'm saying? We really are, you know what I'm saying, changing lives, Shaping hearts, shaping lives.
Come on now.
It's truly happening. You know what I'm saying? It's truly happening. You know what I mean? And the people that's on this show right now watching is a testimony to that. So continue doing what you're doing. I'm gonna be there every step of the way.
Right on. All right, Miss Mary, want to give you the floor. What is it that you would like your audience and future audience of the Lions Den to know?
First of all, I just want to thank you guys for having me on, Mr. Seth. Appreciate you, Herman. It's just an honor to be used as a tool by God. God, it's nobody but God. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just a vessel. As my father would say, I'm just a vessel that's used by God. Just want you guys to know that, we talked about the title of the show was Finish the Assignment, that everybody has a purpose. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans that I think towards you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. That God has an assignment for everyone, no matter who you are. If you can hear my voice, God has an assignment. God has a purpose for you, and God has not forgotten about you. Just want everybody to know to keep God first, and everything else will fall into place. And shout out to my mommy. Shout out to my mom.
There you go. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here you go. Let me give you this shout out. All right, Sunday, 10 a.m. Come visit us at the NJ5, y'all.
It's going down.
It's going down. Look, y'all, she just might pick up the mic right on. But seriously, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank y'all all for being here and to tuning in. Hopefully you got something from this today. I know I have, right? I am not an avid church goer. Just for many reasons, but I believe in the practical teachings of the truth, whatever that is. You can't change that, right? And so I appreciate that. And once I come down there around that time, I'll come in, you know what I'm saying, to pass me the mic, take it away from Herm, because obviously
wait a minute, you guys. The mayor's wife is on. Hey, Minister Pitts.
Okay, what's going on? What's going on?
Hey,
bless you. This brings me to this next one, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for a podcast home, I want to make sure you know this is the place to be. This is the Lions Den with Seth. You understand now? Some of you may have known what happened in the Lions Den, but once you get in, you would never be the same. Right on.
That's it.
You know. But no, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, though, we do appreciate y'all here. Please make sure you come on back every Sunday. We have something going on. We focus on leadership, growth, and development from the household to out in the community. And if you don't know, now you know. This is how you get it in. But we do want to thank y'all for joining us. Enjoy your night. Hey, and Miss Mary, you don't go nowhere, okay? We're going to have you in the background. But look, y'all keep it easy. Take it greasy. Right on. Right on.